Alright guys, so I'm going to talk about event settings. So now there are many different configurations and settings you can make for an event. As you see at the bottom, the navigation bar, you see various sections. And I'm going to talk about these one by one in different videos and step by step. But for today, I'm going to talk about the event identity and capture essentials. Alright, let's get started. So this is the screen you see when you create an event. And if you scroll down a little bit, you see event identity. First, event title. So the event title has two purposes. The first purpose is obviously for you to identify and differentiate among your events. And the second purpose is more important. So there's a web gallery that you can share to your guests or customers. And if you click on it, the title will be reflected here as is. And if you don't care if your guests or customers see the default title, you can leave it as is. But if you are customizing an event for your guests, then you might want to change that because you don't want them to see new event as the title. So let's go back. I'm gonna change it to something else like tutorial and save. And now if I go back to web gallery, now you see that the title has been changed to tutorial. So that's what the event title is mainly for. And second, event password. So when you're at an event, your guests might want to take a look at the photos taken and whatever. And they might touch the screen and accidentally exit the photo booth session by clicking on back buttons or exit buttons. And you don't want to let that happen. So in order to prevent that, your photo booth session from exiting, you want to set a password. So I'm gonna set like 1234. And now the password has been set. And once you start an event, in order to exit the event, now you will have to, or your guests will have to type the password. There we go. So the password is mainly to protect your session from exiting by someone else who's not in charge. All right, moving on, capture essentials. So this is a section you will use a lot because this actually controls your photo booth sessions. So at the top, you'll see a timer value. And as the name suggests, it lets you set the timer for each photo shoot. So if you want 3 seconds between shots, then you could just set it to 3. If you want like 10 seconds or between each shots, then you can set it to 10 seconds. And countdown sound is the name literally suggests. It's the sound when countdown happens. So I'm gonna turn that on and show you what I mean by that. And you got two options for the countdown sound. So you can check that out. And vocal cues are the cues that are played before each shot is taken. And you can select different options. And I'm gonna turn that on as well. And shot preview is after taking each shot, if you wanna show the shot taken to your customer or guest, briefly, then you can turn that on and the photo will be shown briefly after each shot taken. And you can set the duration of the preview. The default is 2 seconds, and you can set it to whatever value you want to. And auto shutter, it's like the name suggests. If you don't want to click on the shutter button every single time a new photo booth session is going through, you can set it on and it's going to start taking photos automatically. And the next two, let guests choose number of shots. So by default, if you go to the camera, you see that your guests or the camera has no options to choose the number of photos that will be taken. And if you want, for some reason, uh, if you want your guests to choose the number of shots taken, you can turn that on. And now if we go back to the camera, you see a new button here, and you can let your guests choose whatever number of shots they want to take. Let me go back. And extra shots. So let's say you want in a 4 slot frame, you want to take more photos and let your guests choose the ones they like out of the photos, all of the photos taken. You can set the number of shots that can be taken. So for example, if I set it to a 1, you see that on a 1 slot frame, the shutter count has become 2. So it's literally how many extra shots you want your guests to take for each frame. All right, that's it for the event identity and capture essentials. And in the next session, I'm going to talk about other sections in event settings. All right, that's it for today. Thanks.